Hi, nobodies. Welcome to my room again. It has been an interesting day. See, yesterday I hung out with one of my friends. Okay, I have been separated from my husband for over a year. I mean, we're close to 18 months, right? He's got a woman living in his house. And she has been since I think like Christmas of last year. I never had a problem with it really. It's his life. I said, I'm done. Be on your way, find someone else, whatever. I've had a couple of relationships since then. Throughout this whole thing, sorry, that scared me a little. Throughout this whole thing, uh, this has been my friend. Somebody who, he's always been my friend. Like since the day I met him, I was like, hey, you're my friend, you know? And for a time, he was friends with the husband. I won him in the divorce, even though there isn't technically been a divorce yet, but I won him in the divorce. And the ex started hating him and started thinking, y'all were doing stuff while we were together. And no, because there's a thing I've got like guy friends are unfuckables. If I say that's my buddy, he's an unfuckable because honest to God, the dudes that I would want to fuck, I'm too nervous around them to actually talk to them. Like, you never become my friend if I'm into you like that. Like, it just, I can't. Because because see, the thing is I can't be hanging out with a dude that I like that way and hear him talk about other women. Because I would be sitting there going, I wouldn't do that to you. Like, I mean, I don't know how guys do that. That whole, like, I want her, so I'm just gonna, like, hang out and see what happens. Now, if I call you my friend, if you're in my life for more than a couple of months, you're friend zoned, you know. Anyway, that's neither here nor there because even if I wanted to fuck him, it's none of my ex-husband's business. Like, you got a girlfriend. How about you go stick your nose in your bitch instead of in my business? Because what I do when I'm by myself, I mean, I don't have, like, I said, the kids can stay with you. I didn't know where I was going. I was kicked out of my house in November of last year because I said something I shouldn't have said because he was poking the bear. You cannot poke at me a ton of times and not have me lash out. And I'm going to say some shit you ain't going to like. Plain and simple. It is what it is. I mean, I will apologize because I always feel bad that I let that stuff out, and sometimes it's true and sometimes it's not true. Sometimes it's an exaggeration of the truth. Um, that house, when I left it, it's because there's a certain way. I think the other day I talked about how home is supposed to be a sanctuary. Even when I was mad at my kids, like they did something and they were coming home, I would not lay into them as soon as they walked in the door. And in all honesty, I probably wouldn't even really lay into them. It was more like, hey, go put your books up. We need to have a talk, and that's what it would be. Uh, that household, I cannot live in a household where either somebody's always asking me, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? How long are you going to be? Like just checking in on you. And it's like, what? I can't have 2 hours where you ain't fucking checking in on me? You know, where the fuck do you think I am? You think I'm off in a ditch somewhere? Well, worry about that when I've taken a 15-minute walk and I'm gone 5 hours. You know, I don't know. Like, don't bug me when I'm having my private time. Don't bite my head off when I'm walking through the door. Uh, and I should not have to sit in my home and go, who's coming home from work today? Are they going to be in a good mood or a bad mood? Because I have to, like, get ready for that. That is not a life that anybody should live. Now, through the course of all this, I have let him back in. He'd probably say he's letting me back in. But actually, it's been me saying, well, like we'll talk. Like, he lets me back in as far as he'll actually not have me blocked. Because when he gets mad, he's automatically like, block. Anyway, I keep making the same mistake over and over again. That, hey, we can co-parent together and actually be kind of chill with each other. And then this happens where he gets mad about something that's none of his fucking business. My kids don't live with me. They're not hanging out with this friend that he doesn't like. I'm not saying, hey, buddy, does your son want to play with my son? Come on over. I don't, because I want to be able to see my kid. And even though my kid would not be interacting with my friend, he'd be interacting with his best friend who has been hurt by all this. I mean, my friend's son, who is 8, doesn't understand why he can't hang out with his best friend. He doesn't get it. He's cried over it. My ex hurt an 8-year-old boy because he doesn't like the dad. And not because the dad is a drug addict. Not because the dad beats his kids, beats his women, breaks laws. No, the dad works a 40-hour-a-week job at least for the city, gets drug tested. He passed a criminal background check. He takes his kids to functions, any kind of festival or anything like that. His kids get to go. He buys his kids season tickets to the theme park, and he makes sure that they go. My kid got to go to all of that shit. Okay? I don't do public stuff. Like, I don't go to festivals and events, city events, that are fun for kids. I don't go to those things. And my ex-husband doesn't either. But my son got to go to those things because his best friend would say, can we get Gavin? Can we get Gavin? His son was so upset at the beginning of the school year that he had to ride a bus that my son would not be on. He says to his dad, that's the only way I can see Gavin, is on the bus and at school. And he's like, well, we don't go to that bus stop anymore. And he's like, but I want to see Gavin. And he's crying that he doesn't want to get on this other fucking bus because he wants to see my kid, an 8-year-old child. And so he gets on the bus, goes to school. My kid isn't there because he was doing online schooling. My friend says the day that my son went to school, he knew. I mean, like, the day that my kid went to school, like, stopped doing the online learning and went to school, I got a text from my friend. I hear Gavin's back in school. Ryder's so excited. He got to see Gavin. This is, it's stupid. It's petty. So I hang out with my friend. I'm grown. I normally don't like to say that word. I don't like to say it like that because most of the time when people say that, they're not grown. But I'm grown. If I want to go over to my friend's house by myself, 40, I'm almost 43 years old. If I want to go to my friend's house at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the morning. If I want to stay there the whole fucking weekend, if I'm there fucking fighting, smoking weed, drinking, what the fuck ever, that's my business. I don't have to cut somebody out of my life because you don't want them around, because you don't like them, because I cut you out of my life. Okay? I can cut you out of my life. That dude ain't done shit to me. I don't have any issues with my friend. My friend has not accused me of shit that I haven't done. He hasn't talked down on me for, oh, you write to prisoners, you write to inmates. Oh my God. Oh, like those aren't human fucking beings. Do I have my kids around? Do my kids have any kind of contact with them? No. Who has brought drug addicts around my children? Not me. Their own damn daddy has. Who's drinking every night in front of my children? Their damn daddy. So, me going to a friend's house whenever the fuck I want without my kids being around, that's my fucking business. And look at, you see any rings on this finger? The fact that there ain't a ring on these fingers means that it's my business. So whether I fuck or smoke weed or suck a dick, what the fuck ever, I belong to nobody. I am accountable to myself. And if I don't tell you shit, it's not your business. Plain and simple. You know, what I put on here, you know, hey, I don't care if the whole world sees it. I really don't. Because it's my truth. You know, yeah, I write to inmates. I have friends on Facebook that have been to prison. They served their time. Two of my inmate friends are in jail for murder. Doesn't make them any less of a human fucking being. And my ex, the only reason he ain't a felon is because he didn't get caught. And it ain't because he's smart. Because he ain't that bright. A lot of people get lucky. Plain and simple. Did he murder anybody? No. Has he done some shady fucking shit? Yes. Hell, his brother's the shadiest motherfucker I know. He manages to stay out of prison, and my kids know him. He's allowed to be around my kids. But you know what? When I stepped out, when I was kicked out of that house, when I decided I don't want to be with you anymore, I don't want to deal with you being okay one day and not okay the next, and when shit doesn't go right, you're going to fucking get drunk and embarrass me and treat me like shit. When I decided that I was leaving that, I stopped having any say-so in who he chooses to hang out with. You know, now I'm not even going to say what's been told, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't agree with there. You know, but it's not my house anymore. I don't want him. And I've given him chance after chance after chance to be my friend, to be friendly with me. And then he's going to sit there and harass my friend because he thinks something happened. So what if it fucking did? I don't belong to you. And even if I did have a fucking ring on this finger, I still don't belong to you. I am not a fucking possession. I am not a trophy. I am not something that you own. If I'm with you, it's because I want to be with you. If I'm not with you, it's because you failed. Or I failed. Like if you leave me, I failed. If I leave you, I'm sick of your shit. Plain and simple. Once I walk off, it's done. Like, the type of person I am, you know, it always gets me that somebody's like, oh, you just come out of nowhere with this. When your wife is crying all the time, there's a problem. When your wife is sleeping all the time, there's a problem. You know, don't act like, oh, I didn't know what was going on. When you're having to apologize for getting pissed about some dumbass shit and you got drunk and embarrassed her, there's a fucking problem. What, just because I was around for 20 years, you think, oh, well, she's going to be around forever. She's done. No, there's a certain point where you say, you know what? 20 years is too long. And gave you plenty of fucking chances to do better. And, you know, I mean, I'm not pissed that he's pissed. I don't fucking give a shit that he's pissed. I really don't. Because the type of person I am, it's like, okay, that is the last person that I would fuck with because it would hurt him. And I am not somebody who will say, well, I'm going to fuck him just to hurt him. No. That is not who I am. I am not somebody who says, well, I'm fun. You know, like I didn't dump my husband for a convict. I dumped my husband because I was interested in a convict. And the thing is that the person I was interested in was not the person that I ended up going to. It was somebody completely different. And he's like, well, you know, you left me for a convict. No, I left you and went with a convict who served his time. You know, and I paid the price for that, you know, but I don't look at what happened with Bitch Boy. The Bitch Boy debacle was not because Bitch Boy was a felon, a convict. He'd been an inmate. That was not the problem. The problem was that Bitch Boy was a shitty human being in the first place. Not shitty in terms of, this is not somebody who I ever was scared would hurt me physically. I was not afraid of him getting me in trouble. I was not afraid of him bringing drugs around me. I was not afraid of any of that kind of stuff. No, Bitch Boy was a special kind of crazy. Not the dangerous kind of crazy, just the life-sucking type of crazy. You know, and I did not have my kids around him because I wanted to see who he was. See, that's the thing. I'm not just gonna, like, if I have a date, my kids are not gonna be here when I meet the date. I'm not moving somebody into my house who I've only known 2 months with my kids. I'm not doing it. It's just not. I don't know that I'll ever, if I had my kids, I don't know that I'll ever move some dude in. You know, it might just be a whole thing of, well, I live here with my kids and you live there and we're a couple. And when the kids are grown, then we'll live together. Because I don't really want to mess with the whole dynamic of a step parent and what goes along with that. Because it is difficult to be a step parent. I've done it. It sucked. And I've watched it through my children's eyes. That would be my adult child and my 2 minor children. And, you know, it's not great. I will not give another person control of my child. They can tell me they got a problem, but they don't tell my kid what to do. They can tell my kid, hey, that's mine, please leave that alone. You know, but I'm not going to give somebody authority over any of my children. I'm not going to give them alone time with my children. Anyway, that's just what's going on. I mean, and like, I left the drama behind, but the drama seems to find me because people can't mind their fucking business. You know, you got a bitch that's worried about you fucking around on her. And you're going to lose your shit over me hanging out with a friend. Even if I was hanging out with it, I mean, like, even if we would have been fucking and sent you a fucking picture. Mind your business. Tend your own fucking garden. Because this is me. Nobody else. Me. What I do with this shell, when I am by myself or with company that is not my children, I don't have to be a role model. I ain't having parties till 3 a.m. where my kids can't sleep. You know, I ain't drinking in front of them. I ain't fighting all night in front of them. Not even crying in front of them, you know. But anyway, that's just, that is all I'm going to say about that. And it's actually going to be let go after this. Because I'm done. He's had all the chances he's going to get to be any part of my life. It'll be like, can I have the kids for the weekend? All right, bye. I don't give a fuck about how he's feeling. I don't care about his relationship. I don't want to hear no sob story about how everybody uses him and makes a fool out of him. I don't give a fuck. Every moment is a moment. Every moment is an opportunity to turn things around. And I am going to take that advice. Have a great day.